Do you guys know why I can't be done today? Because I know how crazy I am. Because I know. It's funny. So, here's where I stand. Hopefully, I will turn this back into more of that on a more fixated the stuff that I want to do in the world, right? Why I'm so about me and everything. I don't want to be. All right. Now that voice just always used to make my sister laugh, so that's why I do that. And funny voices really make my boyfriend laugh. So, still smoke. It is past my birthday. My birthday sucked, and whatever, it doesn't matter. Um, Kevin is going to Ontario, and I'm okay with that. Going to work at Algonquin Resort, and I'm going to work at the factory that he works at currently, and life is good. So, Morgan is gone also. My hair needed to change. I am missing the 2 other cats that lived here, but I have 2 rabbits. I love them. They're expensive though. She is absolutely the sweetest and laziest cat who's ever existed ever. Baby, hi. Who's baby? But she's also the sweetest and awesomest cat. Everybody knows this. Who watches me? Nobody watches me. Nobody knows this. I figured out a long time ago that the only thing that I could really depend on was what was in front of me, what I decided in my head. Because of this, I have a massive ability to imprint what I believe onto and into my reality. Now, I am not stupid. I'm just crazy. I prefer to think certain ways that maybe I shouldn't sometimes, and I will switch it up. I am ultimately a good person, but blah 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 blah. Fuck it, I don't care about what anybody thinks. I care about what everybody. I care about what everybody does as much as I care about what they think, though. So. I want to be nice. But it's boring. I don't think it's 2 people so much as a duality. My life is going good. My only complaint is my boyfriend doesn't care enough about anything. Nobody cares about that, though. You care about how crazy I am. I smoke a lot of weed. That doesn't help. Not at all. I have so many more things I need to pin up on my wall. That would be the cool wall to sit instead of naked chicks. I mean, well, one of them's naked. And admittedly, if I look like that, I'd be naked almost all the time. Oh my god, I just understand why girls get into porn. Because they're turned on by themselves. Or they want to be. But they really don't have cash. There's lots of reasons. What is wrong with me? Too much TV. That's it. I'm eating better. Why? I'm smoking less weed. Why? Watching too much TV. You'd think that would be easy. You'd think that would come easy. It doesn't. It does not. It just doesn't. Okay? I'm a 90s bitch. I was raised by television. Most of the time. Good enough. So I'm extremely self-conscious lately. I'm extremely self-conscious. Oh my God. Going through a lot of those lately with this emotional roller coaster that I have been on between how I relate to people and whether or not I want to advance. It's you don't you don't come out of being homeless with any real set of social skills. Okay? You come with the sense of no shame and let's beg everyone. Here's cuter. One, cuter. That's cuter. Everybody I know insists that there are always two sides to a person. So I'm going to believe them. When you see a lot of hard shit, from your family as a child, you learn how to go numb and end up forgetting so much. And if you decide to lean into the depression of that, you end up forgetting pretty much everything. But inside and outside of times that I'm far more ashamed of and I'm far too old to be just letting it all go, you come to realize the only thing you want is to feel alive. And maybe I'm simple. I take slower steps or something with mental leaps. But I remember being happy. I don't remember a lot, but I remember being happy and being punished. I just don't remember a lot. The bad things were always my fault. And if I cut out everything else, if I cut out all the stuff that nobody wants to hear about, what I'm left with is the world still fucking sucks. We're left with this kind of graded reality of, salt and earth and metals and fire and sky and this physical reality that is very, very, very hard to fight your way into just to survive. And then once you got that down, because it goes pretty fast, you have to figure out what you mean and what you're worth, what you want to be worth, what's worth more to you. It goes both ways for the rest of your fucking life, because define that, what does she define as worth? She'd as likely hunt for me, I'm fairly sure. Not every cat would, but she would. They don't see it. Friends aren't supposed to see it. But I can't trust it. I know I'm not a sociopath. I know I had the tendencies to be a psychopath. Have become one. I'm not. Got told it a lot from my mother. Red flag. But the thing that's been coming up over and over and over and over again for the last year is I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know it. Love. I have this thing where I try to apply my situation onto everybody else. You know, some people call it consideration. That sounds like, or no, I mean it the way I say it. I apply my circumstances onto a person if I'm going to accept them. All the things that I feel, maybe not the situations, the actual physical things, but the feelings from them. I apply it onto somebody and voila, I can talk to anybody. That's easy. But when you get deeper and you keep the time, it's like the gravity of the situations that this person has been through comes down on you, and you don't have a choice about that. I mean, it's hard for anybody relating in the world. I got lucky. I don't think I don't think my brother and sister were an accident. My mother can say all she wants that I was and my brother was born of something not so happy, and my sister was planned. But they shouldn't have been born. I shouldn't have been born if any of us were to, according to her. I can't do it with her anymore. That's the only way I dug my way out of hating everybody, because there were times, thou shalt not kill. Well, I don't think I ever got actually close to it, except the one time I was on acid. But even then, I wouldn't have done it. He was acting like somebody who would kill somebody. So even then, I was reasonable. I think to think you know it all is the greatest sin you can ever commit against your personal relationship with whatever there be, or at least yourself, if you don't submit to anything else, because ultimately, most given moments, we don't submit to any God. We're submitting to ourselves, our whims, our will, our choices. I turned off that. I uploaded it. I think I watched something. I think I did a couple replies or checks on Facebook. I don't know. And then I re-upped this. It's the same person. It's not like there's two separate people. I've 100% configured that every which way I can think. It's that there's two sides. When I'm sad and I'm happy, or if I simplify it in a different way, it does look more like two personalities. I like to think of the Aries part of me and the Scorpio part of me, fire and water, and super masculine and really masculine, but Aries men are really masculine. Aries women are loud. But I mean, you can't generalize like that either. I do, because it helps me keep track of what's what and what's tied in, and how much of it is always a choice of my own, so that it's not collective. It's not two consciousness. It's not, a protective and a whatever. I don't find that there's any shame in that one anyway. that was the one that I would have picked. Bipolar, of course there's shame in that. There's shame in emotions. You don't have to be bipolar to be, and to feel completely out of control, or to find that people think you're too much, or of course there's shame in that if you choose to see it. I think some people are just strung that way though. I think they're supposed to exist. The thing is with those, to teach them compassion. That's almost every single Cancer I know is bipolar. I like to think that there's at least 12 different types of people out there. I like to think that the reason why there's so many different people is because of all the other planets too, but there's also just the psychology of, if you're going to associate one personality to this kind of person born at this time, then how their parents and their grandparents and how situations or what they were taught yes or no to, just the binary things, can influence anything. I mean, it kind of works. It's funny because I don't really care what I look like. Well, that's about the eye contact thing. Micromanaging it. Even the having two personalities makes it easier to schizophrenia. I do believe there are people who see nothing but the bad, and I think that's even emotional manifestations of themselves. I don't deny the disorder so much as deny the need for paranoid schizophrenia and bipolar affected schizophrenia, schizophrenia affected psychosis of this kind and this kind and this kind, or from this and this drug and this fix up that was supposed to help with the anxiety but didn't because it takes 3 months to kick in, and who would? Thank God most of us aren't on welfare or health care or fuck. Cocaine doesn't make it better though. I mean, there's so many reasons for all of this. That's, is it so disproportionately outrageous and unrealistic to think that somebody who survived all the shit that I did, somebody like me, could have a thing or two to say? The ability to lead, the ability to make laugh, the ability to inspire, the ability to... No. Anybody can do any of those things at any given time. To make that their main objective and the main disposition, way they compose themselves, the way they fixate on people and decide to be. See, I hate all of this. I just do. I just, no. No. Almost. So I'm going to talk about my political system. Universal wages. You work 20 hours and you're a single person or a couple in an apartment. You can, the guy does or the girl does. Maybe they both do because they, like to shop for themselves, have different diets, who knows, whatever. Different incomes, different things. I would like for it to be something we don't count in numbers as a personalized individual so much as we count in consumption. And, if we're going to have healthcare and care about ourselves, We can go to somebody who, notices certain things. Like, if we had those watches, because I don't want no friggin' implanted, weird, tattooed, friggin' no. Watches. Just something you can take off so that people don't have to feel paranoid and like the government is always watching them. There's phones, there's cameras on your phones. You can be paranoid about that and put it in your pocket and feel better, or take out the battery and all that weird paranoid crap. I'm not worried about Rothschilds, and I'm not worried about people. I'm more worried about the average individual out there having seen this and just more likely, and I don't care. Do what you will. I will come back and I will fucking haunt this timeline until I get it right. So says my soul. Well, my body sits here getting stoned and smoking still, and indulging in my attention-seeking behavior. So, let's watch. I mean, we have the technology. Read our pulse rate down here. Have like a clicky thing, and it's metal, and it attaches. It's connected to our phones if we want or not, and that whole Bluetooth thing, and connected to the internet all the time so that you can do whatever. I mean, internet should be free, shouldn't it? It should. Same with healthcare, but at the same time, we need to make certain things absolute. I mean, we can't have too many people. Not unless we're going to get our shit in gear and get on the science thing and the space thing. And from what I'm hearing, yeah, we're doing things, but it just doesn't feel concrete and real and legit. Maybe it is happening. I believe so. I want to stay here. Fuckers can go up there. Just doesn't feel like there's enough time, food, money. So universal wages and maximum wages. Let's say you're somebody who saves lives all the fucking time. You're a fireman, you're a doctor, you're this, that. You know what? You're only allowed to have so fucking much. It's not communism to the fucking extreme. It's, you're a billionaire. Congratulations. Would you like to donate to this charitable organization? Would you like to have this car? You have all of these things like that car, and your kid has a car, and you've got a great house and great career. What else do you need? That $1 billion can go down in your family. These temporary items can go where they will. Maybe there ought to be laws about inheritance so that it's just completely written off. This is a maybe, and I say that because, I want these issues to be kind of certain ones circular. I think we need to just agree universally for an uncomfortable little while about suicide being legal, so that the only painless options, I mean, if everything's perfect, assume that everything's perfect. You can't just get any old drug any old time. Assume that a gun just is not to be found. Assume that the worst thing you're going to see is jumpers. And let's face it, if they want to jump, well, there's ways to save them. I mean, that's a different thing. And then you can take this person to a place where they're in a comfortable apartment, small psychologist, the whole works. People can access these psychologists. It's one of those things, people. We have to have control of life and death for ourselves. And if you don't want to implement this next one, then at least make this one make sense. I'm sorry, this is painful. Not everybody belongs here. Maybe they were meant to be a friggin' cat. What do we know? So inheritance. More than one kid, house goes to the girl. Kind of makes sense in a way. Unless that person was somebody who is, no, I guess not make it that specific. My idea on that particular one would be, splits on the money in special circumstances where there are 3 or more children, keep all of the items, but if there are not, the existing items always go to the wife or the nearest elder relative, the uncle, the mother, should it be that circumstance. But in a perfect world, we all live really healthy and this all gets clear cut and makes sense. And, girls can be girls, and if they want to be like men, they can. And if guys can be guys, and there's places for things, and you're rewarded for being heroic. That needs to be a thing. You want extras? Don't take away money. Don't. You don't take away indulgences, but let's face it, people, $1 billion to be worth for the rest of your life and never need for anything, pay for food or bills or rent. I would assume with income, you would have to pay for like the actual house. But that's what I'm saying is you could save up money. We could stop with this loaning and the this and the that. And, so much would be eliminated by healthcare being free. All the government really is, I mean, if all the rules made sense at one point or another, there would be no need for leaders. But until then, leaders don't get anything but what they need for free. They don't take any money away from it. Their role is to be absolutely of the suggestion kind, of the debating, of the clearing up the matters for the people. Variety, and everything they need is taken care of, just as with any other person who works hours. They don't take anything from it, because to be that is not risking your life. It's implementing your life. Take away the whole being able to earn retirements. I mean, why not? Or give them everything for free for the rest of their life. Screw the actual inheritance. I mean, why not? Or maybe somebody only serves for 4 years like it is now. So why bother with corrupting it? So there's that and that. And I say max out at like 20 different types of the exact same goddamn thing. People, I'm tired of these knockoff caramel eggs. I'm tired of... There does seem to be a lot of just 2s, but I'm just tired of like 50 different types of bread. And maybe it doesn't have to be, we could leave that there, but extras. I mean, if everybody just goes to work because that's what they do for 40 hours a week, then, where was I going with this wages? Then if you never make huge waves, or you never save a life, or you never contribute to the benefit of all humanity with an idea, or then, no, it wouldn't even be far off from the way we are now, the way I'm thinking of it, like these people that we could never ever possibly revere enough or thank enough for getting us this far. there are things out there that problems to be solved, and problems to be solved here still. Global warming and, ways to recycle things and universal products and such. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that we can be legitimized by these things that measure heart rate and how much you eat and like if you implement it. And people will always lie, but what's wrong with lying and stealing if we can eliminate the need for the rest of it? Why can't you be a functioning crackhead who has never had kids because you're too friggin' thin or, not hard, who works for the rest of his life, 20 hours in a shitty apartment, or 40 hours because they got ambitious? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with an existence where we can all be balanced out? And, what's wrong with placing the harshest of friggin' realities, being killed against your will or having your parts taken away, replaced with a tube? There's so many different versions of what's fair. Why don't we place what's gruesomely a reality to fit the crime? Just death. It happens anyway. What's so harsh about the death penalty? Why does there need to be so many of us? I'm sorry, but we're thinned out as an intellectual species, and we're maxed out because the intellect that we did have in bursts here and fucking there has reaped this greedy, negligent version of events that just doesn't need to be. It just doesn't need to be. I don't think this reality is that hard. I'm gonna get to a place where I'm comfortable and then work on making everybody else comfortable. I don't think it's that hard. I just don't. We don't need all of this. And if we want all of that, well, it's not that hard to be somebody who's just generally good. And that's where the extras are allotted to, the funds. That if you decide to take it on as a career, that the way to make that even would be to say, okay, well, you that puts worth on things for certain people. That's not really the way to do it. You work. Not every single day is a friggin' day with fires. So that's just kind of me trying to figure it all out, my ideas, where we all are. I hope to entertain you more with 15-minute blurbs of just craziness like the last one on my version of events or what I see in the Ten Commandments. Because that's what people want to see, right? And that's just how I get my face out there and I get my venting random crap and reminders, reevaluating in a more physical, confident way. So that I can know exactly who I am and how to be and what makes people tick, I guess. See how it goes. All right. Thanks for watching. Much love.